Hello and welcome to TeenMOP. This is our special Queensland election episode, part 2, the actual election discussion, and we're coming to you from the Queensland Electoral Commission tally room.
Which is actually, right now, looking pretty empty, wouldn't you say?
Yes, although I think some of the, maybe the corrupt double votes are being counted already, but I'm right wing. With me, centre right.
Here's Santi.
And left wing.
Hello, my friends, hello.
Unfortunately, the average teenager didn't quite know where the tally room was, because the location of tally rooms are not often specified. But we managed to find our way here, and now we're discussing the Queensland state election. In 24 hours from now, it will be 12:30 in Queensland, and we're not us, but the over 18s will be voting in the Queensland state election. Will it be Anna? Will it be Campbell? Or could it be Bob?
Well, that's a very interesting question, and there's a lot of issues to discuss, so let's begin right away.
Let's begin with it. Okay, so the first issues to discuss on the agenda today will be whether Campbell Newman will take the seat of Ashgrove off the current Minister for the Environment, Kate Jones. We'd like to know your thoughts if you're looking at this video before Saturday's election. If you're looking at it after, then don't bother telling us. First of all, polling has indicated recently that Campbell Newman will pick up the seat. I'd like to know your opinions, gentlemen. Left wing?
Well, I haven't taken too much of a look into it, I'll be honest with you here, but to be honest, I think he's got a fairly good chance. I mean, if the opposition actually believe him to be who they think should be the leader, then realistically, they expect him to get votes, wouldn't you think? So, I think
Ashgrove is at the moment a relatively safe Labor seat.
Yes, but we've said that about a lot of seats in the past, and I mean, look at the New South Wales election. That was a complete obliteration of what was previously safe Labor seats.
Yeah, safe. So, in fact, if I just do a little bit of research using my trusty. While I am researching that, I'd like to know.
Yeah, let's go to centre right.
As to whether Campbell Newman will pick up the seat of Ashgrove.
Well, bear with me for a second, okay? Bear with me for a second, okay? His name is Campbell, right?
Campbell, yes.
And he's named after a famous soup brand, right?
Well, probably not.
Bear with me for a second. So would you put Ash, as in Ashgrove, in your soup?
No.
Of course you would. Who wouldn't? Therefore, I think victory is ensured.
Right. That's an interesting way of looking at it. I suppose another way, just by the way, the safest Labor seat to fall to the coalition at the election was the seat of Campbelltown, which was held by an 18.5% margin. So it does prove Ashgrove is only 7%. So it does prove
that'll be an easy victory for
and
them.
of course, if we go to the sitting member of Ashgrove, Kate Jones, who is currently the Minister for the Environment under the Anna Bligh government. She's quite a young woman. She isn't yet 33. She has been a member of the Parliament for the last 5.5 years. She is married to Media Relations member at Queensland Rail. She stood down from Cabinet. She's no longer the Minister for the Environment, as I've previously referred to her. And now she's facing the fight of her life. And I don't know if any of you know much about Kate Jones. But I'd like to know, if you do know something about Kate Jones, what you would do if you were a woman in Kate Jones, and what tactics you would be adopting in the run-up to the election.
Well, to be honest, I think the most straightforward approach is probably the best one here, and that is advertise, and what was the other one? Oh yeah, advertise. Yeah, it's about as simple as that.
Centre right.
Would you mind repeating the question, please?
Yes. What would you do at the moment with 1 day to go to the election if you were Kate Jones? And also, if you do happen to lose your seat, where do you go from here?
Well, this might be a slightly unpopular opinion, but I don't think anyone said it. Basically, if I was her, I'd advertise. Oh, and did I mention advertising?
If I were here, if I were her rather, I would advertise. No. But in all seriousness, I think she needs to emphasise the fact that she has a link with the community that Mr. Newman doesn't have. in that she has been elected as the local member twice, 2 or 3 times even, and she has a role to fulfil in that electorate, and she is a local, whereas Campbell Newman is not a local. Campbell Newman lives.
That does seem to swing a fair margin of vote, which, to be honest, is a little sad. But I think it does seem to swing a fair margin of vote. So do you think there's a possibility it might actually go to her?
Well, there has been the Cute Kate campaign going on, but it looks like it may come up short. And should Kate Jones lose this election, I would suggest that she perhaps regroup and perhaps... she's very young, so a career in journalism or perhaps even re-entering politics at some point await her. This would not be, or it shouldn't be, by any means, the end of her career.
No.
Now, moving to the major parties and the leaders
I think we've
it is, of course, Anna Bligh versus Campbell Newman.
Really?
Everything's very presidential these days. Profile of Anna Bligh. She's been a member for the seat of South Brisbane since 1995 and has been a minister since about 2001. She became Education Minister. In fact, she became a minister in 1998. She's been a stalwart of the Labour Party for many years. What do you think? Do you think, following the campaign, whether she has done a sufficient job to both persuade people to vote for her and dissuade people from voting for Mr. Newman?
Well, sadly, to be honest, I think, as can be seen by the polls, which we highlighted last time, unfortunately, she hasn't been doing a very good job of getting people on her side. However, at the same time, her efforts in the floods and her unwillingness to call an election at the time then was quite admirable.
I still believe that spin of the swing that resulted in Mr. Langbrook being deposed as leader of the Liberal National Party for Mr. Seeney and henceforth perhaps Mr. Newman. So do you think she's done enough to perhaps put herself into the shop?
Though I think it was admirable that she did that, and I think she's done a number of very good things for Queensland in the past, to be honest, I have my doubts whether she can continue in this respect. Like, I don't think she's done enough to really convince the Queensland voters that she is the woman for them.
And of course, she is 52, so this could legitimately be the end of her career, were she to lose the election. However, some people are suggesting that she could regroup and stay on as leader of the Labour Party. I personally don't think she can do that. I think Labour will be looking for new blood, and I think that will be found in some of the younger members of Queensland. I think she's had her turn. If she loses tomorrow, she'll have had her turn, and perhaps she can stay on as a backbencher because 52 isn't old. Paul Keating got out at 52, but it's not old, and I'd like to go to centre right on this issue.
Well, I've listened to a fascinating speech, and I agree. I think she should fight them on the beaches.
Oh yes, the Anna Bligh Churchill. I didn't even know.
Who's Churchill?
Of course.
Yeah, you know what? The name doesn't really. It just sort of came up. It was just like a brain snap. It just sort of rolled off the tongue very well.
Oh,
yes.
Would you believe it?
Look at the
She's found the tally room.
Hello, people. I finally found the address. Some people just can't get the right address. I'm sorry.
What do you think about the Queensland Labour Party?
It's better than the Liberal Party.
Is it really?
That's the
Liberal National Party.
Nationalist.
Nationalist.
Oh,
There's the average teenager's little